Hello friends, welcome to Department of Plant Pathology, KDSP Agriculture College Nasik. In last lecture, we have seen red rot of sugarcane and its causal organism, that is Coleotrichum falcatum, its symptoms, life cycle, symptomatology and their management. Today we are going to see the wilt of sugarcane. Its causal organism is Fusarium moniliforme, Rhizopus glutinus or Cephalosporium checkeri. These are two names given to single pathogen and it causes wilt in sugarcane. It was first reported by Butler and Kuhn in 1913 from India. In Gujarat, it was first reported during 1985 in highly susceptible variety, that is COC 671. The disease occurs singly or in combination with red rot. The disease is more severe in wilt-sick soils and in alkaline soil. The moisture stress activates the disease maximum intensity. And after the infection of this wilt, the yield loss was up to 10 to 80% of total production. Here you can see the symptoms of this wilt of sugarcane. First symptom of this disease is visible in sugarcane of 4 to 5 month age crops. The canes may wither in the groups. The affected plants are stunted with yellowing and withering of the crown leaves. These are the particular marks of identification for wilt of sugarcane. After the severe infection, the midribs of all leaves in a crown generally turns yellow, while the leaf lamina may remain green. The leaves dry up and stem develops hollowness in the core or pith. The pith shows reddish discoloration with longitudinal red streaks passing from one internode to another. As you can see in the images, there is the reddish color discoloration of these longitudinal red streaks passing from one internode to another. In severe infection, spindle-shaped cavities tapering towards the nodes develop in each internode. The canes emit a disagreeable odor with lot of white mycelial threads of the fungus covering the cavity. All the cavity is covered by this whitish color mycelial layer and mycelial layer of this fungus. Weight of such infected canes is reduced due to the hollow canes. There are a few characters of this fungus that it helps for identification of this wilt. The fungal mycelium is hyaline. It is septate, that is crosswalls between the hyphae. It is called as septate hyphae and thin wall. These are some characters of this pathogen. The conidiophores are simple, slender or swollen on which hyphae singly shed, hyaline oval to elliptical microconidia collecting in the slime drop. So these are all about the characters of this pathogen. There are some favorable conditions which were responsible for development of this disease. In that, if there is a ill-drained soil, the more chances of development of this disease may occurs. Similarly, heavy irrigation, waterlogging conditions, then soil pH, when it becomes less than 7.0, it causes severe attack of this disease. Similarly, excessive use of nitrogenous fertilizer leads to development of this disease. Monoculturing, especially with single susceptible genotype, if there is no crop rotation followed during the sugarcane field, then the chances of development of this disease is more. If you study the life cycle of this disease, you can observe that the primary source of infection is by means of chlamydospores. Chlamydospores, these are some resting structure produced by this pathogen, Fusarium moniliforme, and these chlamydospores were always present in infected sets. such infected seeds when we can use for sowing purpose, then development of this disease is simply the pathogen grows from such infected seeds and causes infection to the another healthy seeds also. The fungus can also survive in soil as these are some soil borne spores as we can call it as a saprophytes, and they can survive up to 2 to 3 years inside the soil. And in case of secondary infection, it is always by macro or microponidia, which were move from infected portion to the healthy portion by contaminated soil, contaminated water, or at the time of interculturing operations. So this is all about the disease cycle of this wilt of sugarcane. Now the most important point comes, that is management of wilt of sugarcane. Management of such soil-borne diseases is very difficult task for a plant pathologist, so that we have to apply all integrated disease management practices. In that, we have to follow cultural practices, physical practices, mechanical, biological, chemical. All practices should follow for management of this disease. That first, deep plowing during summer crop, which helps to reduce the initial inoculum which is present inside the soil. The second most important point is use of healthy seeds. That means selection of seeds should be done which are obtained from good nursery, and it should be free from disease. As we have seen in disease cycle, the chlamydospores which were present in infected seeds. So such infected seeds give rise to initial inoculum, and development of disease is fast in such infected seeds. The next most important step is seed treatment. Such seed treatment should be done with carbendazim 0.1% or aerated steam treatment, which is given at 52 degrees Celsius for 2 hours, as we have seen in earlier lectures that how aerated steam treatment is helpful for management of such soil-borne pathogens. These are some treatments that we can follow. Similarly, roguing is very important point, that is infected clumps should be uprooted after the emergence of the crop. If there is an infection of this disease, such infected clumps should be uprooted and should be burned and drenched out from the field, and such portion should be drenched with mercury chloride 0.2% or carbendazim 0.1% solution. Similarly, we should avoid return crops, as we have seen that this pathogen survives in soil and return crops are more susceptible to this disease. Next point is facilitate the field with proper drainage. If there is a waterlogging condition, the more chances of development of this disease there are also more. So that we have to avoid waterlogging condition, and similarly we have to also avoid stress condition, which is also responsible for development of this disease. After that, we have to use judicious doses of fertilizer, as nitrogenous fertilizers lead to development of the canopial growth, and after the development of vigorous canopial growth, there is the attack of various pests and diseases. So we have to avoid such excess doses of nitrogenous fertilizers. Similarly, we have to follow crop rotation if possible, and it should be done by sugarcane paddy in summer plus paddy in kharif, and green manuring with dhencha in kharif at the end of kharif season. Such crop rotation is helpful for minimizing the initial inoculum of this disease. Similarly, we can also use organic manures like castor cake, neem cake, poultry cakes, FIM or press mud. These are some organic inputs that we can apply into the field, so that the initial inoculum of this disease will reduce by increasing the beneficial microflora of the soil. Similarly, resistant varieties, that is CO8338, COA91132, COLK8001, these are found effective against this disease, so that we have to use these resistant varieties to avoid disease attack. The most important point, that is biological control. In biological control, we can use Trichoderma viridi or Trichoderma harzianum or Trichoderma langibrachydum. This Trichoderma should be multiplied in the press mud or in the cow dung at a rate of 8 tons per hectare. So such Trichoderma can minimize the population of this fungal pathogen, as this Trichoderma having characters of mycoparasitism, then competition, then antibiosis, such types of phenomenon, as we have seen in earlier lecture, that by this phenomenon this pathogen can be controlled by this Trichoderma viridi. At the end, we can apply the carbofuran 1.5 kg per hectare or 50 kg furadon when first 30 days of planting should be done, and second dose of this carbofuran should be done at earthing up stage to manage stem borer insects and nematodes. These are also responsible for spreading of this disease from infection portion to the another portion, so that such stem borers and nematodes should be controlled by applying this carbofuran. So that's all about wilt of sugarcane. So all management practices should be followed for controlling this disease. In next lecture, we will see whip smut of sugarcane. Thanks for watching this video.